In this video, we are going to build frequency tables, joint frequency tables, in which we are going to analyze the variables, the type of country we are working with. Let's say Brazil, China, France. They can be emerging countries or developed countries. Okay, so we have two categories for this variable. The other variable under analysis is the business cycle situation of the economy of this country. So let's say that Brazil and China, they are growing, while I don't know, let's say France is stagnated as the United Kingdom, and why not, let's say that Italy, it's in recession like Spain. Okay, so in order to build this table, we are going to build what is called a dynamic table. First, we select the data using the mouse. Okay, and once the data is selected, let's say to Excel, we want to insert a table, and we want to insert a dynamic table. Once selected this, we have the option just to build this new dynamic table within a new Excel sheet or an existing, say, Excel sheet. We would select this, but next we have to say where do we want this. Let's say we want it here, so in cell G2, just to have everything in the screen. And then we finally say accept. Well, by doing this, first we have, of course, we have two variables, which are the selected data, country, and business cycle. And then, as we want a join table, every variable will be within, let's say, in rows or in columns. Let's put variable country, which can be emerging or developed, just into columns, while business cycle it's selected into into rows. Okay, well, as you can see, we have just exactly the type of table we want. So we want the columns for one variable, developed, emerging, and the total, and growing, recession, or stagnated is in general. Okay, well, next we want to fill this information. Well, we can select either variable because they are qualitative variables, and by clicking, so this left mouse click, and then we move this to values, you will see that it's what is being stated here is count of the variable. So we are just counting how many of these countries are in every position of the cell. In this example, for instance, what we see is that all emerging countries are growing countries, while the developed, they can be growing, recession, or stagnated. This is what we see. So this will be fine. We can say, okay, this is okay for us. But of course, we may. I'm sorry. And these are the joint frequencies, and these are the marginal frequencies. Just a few items. First, we can select emerging, developed, etc., and let's say copy this, transposed. And this is a variable indeed. So we can say developed, we have in total 6 countries. Emerging, we have 4. We copy, and again we paste it transposed. And we see that these are the absolute frequencies. Of course, we could build the marginal frequencies, 6 over 10. And we can have the unidimensional distribution of this variable, and we could do the same or exactly for the type of country if we want. But in addition, and let me move now here, we can also build what I'd call the row or the column percentages. Just let me copy the type, so the values of this, and let me erase the numbers, because we are going to build a new table in which, well, let's say we want to work only for developed countries. So out of the developed countries, so out of the 6 countries, what is the rate or what is the proportion of this which are growing, in recession, or stagnated? So we say we have, let's say, this is cell H. Well, I mean, when we want to import data, this is the type of formula we have. So we skip that and we say, well, this is in cell H4, which is this, divided by what is in cell H7. And now what we put is some dollars into the row, because we are going to change the the columns, so we are not going to change the row. So that's why we put the dollar into the row. So this is 2 over 6, which is of course a third, another 2 over 6 as we can see, and another 2 over 6, okay? And of course in total this is 100%. Once we have this, we can copy this into the next columns, and we say paste it, and we see that, well, out of the emerging countries, 100% are growing. These are, in this case, the column percentages. And finally, we can build the same type of table into row percentages. Let me erase this now, and now what I do is just the opposite. So instead of dividing by the row, we are going to divide by the column. Let me show it again to you. So this H4, which is that's this 2, this value, but we're going to divide it over this 6, which is in divided over J4, right? But now what we want to stack is just the column. We put the dollars in front of the J, which is the denominator for the column. Just I copy this, I say copy, and then I paste it for the rest of the table. Paste. And as you can see, I have 100% in columns. And so out of the growing countries, 66% or 67%, they are emerging, and only 33% are developed. 100% of countries in recession are the ones which are developed. 100% of countries which are stagnated, they are developed countries. Of course, we can put a lot of percentages here, and the same apply here, just to have a decent or more nice presentation. And we can put some bars, so to have again a nice presentation. And here on the country, what we have is, as you can see, what we have is just different types of presentation, because they are basically in columns. The information is in columns. Okay. Well, this is a type of exercise we have to do when presenting a joint table, marginal or unidimensional variables, and columns or row. A row or no. These are yes. These are the columns. These are the row percentages. Okay. And that's all. Thank you.